I wanted to record a short video on something that's been on my mind. It's actually been on my mind for many years, but expressing it is a little bit difficult. And this is something that I was actually discussing with my mom recently. See, I think one of the things that really changed my life was when I started seeing it as meaningless. Another way I would put it is not meant to be. See, learning how babies come into the world and learning that their parents have sex and that whether or not those parents want their children, they produce them by having sex because they're driven to do it by their hormones and all that. And it's very interesting, and the way that I've come to view my own life has a lot to do with the way I view sex, and a lot to do with why I don't do sex, and I'm a virgin forever. Here's what I mean. Now, when somebody does a piece of art, such as something they draw or they paint, or the digital art that I do, or write a computer program, or build some fabulous castle in Minecraft or something like that, you know what I mean? You can see the intention behind it. It is a certain way. It was meant to be a certain way. It was designed. There was an image in mind that somebody had, and they created an object of art. And one thing that I used to hear a lot in church, because I was raised Christian, is that God creates us with a plan and has a purpose for our lives. It's kind of an idea like that God meant us to be here and be who we are and do what we do. At the same time, they also teach in free will and that we can disobey God and all this crap. So it's totally contradictory and hypocritical, the different things they teach. But this isn't about criticizing Christianity. It's about the difference in how I, as an atheist, view things. I realize I'm only here by the circumstances that happen. And when you realize that, like I'll speak about myself, but this is true of everyone. We're only here because our parents had sex or did something else like IVF or whatever, and procreated and reproduced us, basically. And if you think about it, your ancestors will go back as long as human history goes back, and technically back to the animals that they evolved from, if you understand evolution. But just think about this: all of the rape that led to your existence. Like, you realize that all of us have ancestors that were conceived because some man raped some woman and got her pregnant, whether or not she wanted to be. And so when you realizing that my existence, my presence here on this planet and living this life I do, no matter how good I may try to live my life, there's this feeling that I'm not meant to be, that I don't belong here. Because the idea that somebody somebody had to be raped, or that anything happened, you know what I'm saying? Like, imagine that. Like let's just take the Holocaust for example. Now, all those Jews and other people were killed. Now, had they not been killed when they were, they might have had descendants that they didn't have. And so different people might have married different people, and different things would have happened. Of course, nobody can go back and change the past, but the point is, the way the world works is basically chaos. It's not order. The world of math and computer programming and Minecraft and art and the way people design cars and computers and build buildings, there is an intention. They design things. Things are meant to be a certain way. But the very act that creates all of us, people's sexual attraction, they're having sex and all that, it's all basically people have these hormones and they're horny and basically other young men, and this is how other young men will talk. They'll be like, "Oh, she's hot. I want to fuck her." That's there's that mindlessness that I see with people, and it's so weird because I, as a person, I'm not like that at all, and part of it's autism, part of it's asexuality, but to me, it's kind of like I don't do anything without a definite plan. I don't jump to hasty decisions. Everything I do is a well thought out, planned things. I consider what are the advantages and disadvantages of doing this, and whether that's applying for a job or whether that's how I budget my money and what I spend things on, what programming language I choose, how I play video games. All of these things are very detailed. I put so much thought into it, but that's not what I see with other people. They seem mindless. They seem like they're driven just by instinct and impulse. I don't see a thought process. Of course, I can't go in somebody's mind and know what they're thinking. That's true. But that's just how I perceive people. But back to the point, we're only here because basically many people were sexually attracted to different people and had sex and reproduced. And aside from the whole, ethics of procreation or what, and my personal beliefs that we should do that, it's just the inherent meaninglessness that gets to me. The fact that I'm not meant to be. I can make the best of my life and try to live in a way that improves this world and gives me some level of happiness. But it still doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel like it was designed. It doesn't feel like it was planned, because I don't think it is. I'm not meant to be here. I should not be here. But I do the best I can. And that's just how I feel. And maybe other people can relate to that. Maybe they know what I'm talking about. And if not, just please ignore me. I'm crazy.